In a recent interview that has sparked a wave of conversations across the country, veteran Nollywood actor Edochie made a bold statement about the challenges Igbo men face in politics. According to Edochie, one major reason Igbo politicians struggle to thrive is rooted deeply in the cultural identity of the Igbo man, and that reason is his zero tolerance for betrayal. Now let's break that down. Edochie, who is not just a celebrated actor, but also a respected elder and cultural voice in Igbo land, spoke candidly on Afia TV. He said, and I quote, "An Igbo man is not a good politician, and I will tell you why."
I don't know what you see as a conflict now, but you asked a question about how that experience affects the Igbo man today. It does. You know, an Igbo man is not a good politician. No. Yes, and I'll tell you why. People who are used to politics, all the treacheries that characterize politics, can overlook a lot of things. The Igbo man is not constituted to condone treachery a second time. No. If you hurt the Igbo man once in politics, that's it. He will never give you an opportunity to hurt him again. He will recoil into himself and stay there. That's a conquer for you. And that is the average Igbo man. So that's a very good question. Yes, the Igbo man is really not constituted to sustain political treachery. You know, say, okay, don't worry. You know, it is not the way it is for the Igbo man. No.
He sees it differently.
That's right. The moment you exhibit treachery in your involvement with the cut you off. That's it. I don't want to see this man again, right?
People who are used to politics or the treachery that characterizes politics can overlook a lot of things, but the Igbo man is not constituted to condone treachery a second time. If you hurt the Igbo man once in politics, he will never give you an opportunity to hurt him again. He will recoil himself. It is a strong statement, but when you consider the cultural context, it starts to make sense. In Igbo society, values like loyalty, honesty, and trust are deeply embedded in daily life. Family bonds are sacred. Friendships are for life. Business is done with people you trust. And when that trust is broken, that's usually the end of the road. So when an Igbo man enters politics, a space that thrives on shifting alliances, strategic backstabbing, and yes, a lot of betrayal, he's often in unfamiliar waters. Politics, especially in Nigeria, is not always about being the most qualified or the most honest. It's about building networks, maintaining alliances even when they are shaky, and sometimes tolerating betrayal for the sake of survival or progress. But for the average Igbo man, once you cross him, it's over. No second chances, no fake smiles. He pulls back and cuts off the relationship completely. That's his way of preserving his dignity. And that's exactly what Edochie was talking about. He's not saying Igbo men can't lead. He's not saying they don't have the intelligence or the charisma. No. In fact, the Igbo are known for excellence in business, education, and innovation. What he's saying is that politics, the way it's currently played, does not align with the core values of the typical Igbo personality. And truthfully, there's some merit to that. But in all honesty, do you personally agree with Edochie on this? When you look at Nigeria's political landscape, you'll notice that some of the longest surviving politicians are those who have mastered the art of navigating betrayal. They forgive, they forget, or at least pretend to, and move on, building bridges even with their enemies. For many, it's a survival skill. And for the Igbo man, betrayal is not just politics, it's personal. And he carries that memory, not out of bitterness, but out of principle. This raises a complex question. Should the Igbo man change to fit into politics, or should politics evolve to reward more integrity? Because let's be honest, if politics continues to be a game of treachery, people of principle will always be at a disadvantage. And if people of principle step away, what kind of leaders will be left with? Now, here's my personal opinion. I'll keep it neutral here. I believe Peter Edochie raised a valid cultural observation, but I also think the issue goes beyond betrayal. There are many layers to the political challenges Igbo men face, from regional marginalization to lack of unity and collective strategy. But yes, this cultural rigidity towards betrayal may be one of the internal barriers holding some Igbo politicians back. The big takeaway here is not just about Igbo men. It's about the kind of politics we're building, because if the system only rewards betrayal and punishes integrity, then maybe the problem is not the people. Maybe the problem is the system. So let's keep the conversation going. What do you think? Is Peter Edochie right? Should the Igbo man learn to play the game, or should politics begin to reward those who stand on principle? Would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section.